Hi everyone, welcome back to Vlogmas Day 12. Today I have a special TBR. I asked for my sister to make me a TBR and today I'm going to react to it, and then next year I'm going to do a reading vlog reading all of the books. She just sent it to me, so I'm going to check each of the books and then also what is her reasoning for it and maybe my prediction for the reads. First book is Icebreaker by A.L. Day, because I enjoy hockey and this one is a queer hockey romance. It is YA, but I think it's pretty good. I know she likes this book a lot. She has recommended it to me in the past. We searched for this book whilst we were in California, but we could only find the other Icebreaker. 17-year-old Mickey James III is a college freshman, a brother to 5 sisters, and a hockey legacy. With a father and a grandfather who have gone down in NHL history, Mickey is almost guaranteed the league top draft spot. The only person standing in his way is Jason Caulfield. He's a Caulfield? If you don't know, I am a Habs fan and our number 13 is Cole Caulfield. The only person standing in his way is Jason Caulfield, a contender for the number 1 spot and Mickey's infuriating and infuriatingly attractive teammate. When rivalry turns to something more, Mickey will have to decide what he wants and what he's willing to risk for it. She's the only person that I have on Goodreads that has shelved this book, but she gave it 4 stars. The next read is Fool Me Once by Ashley Winstead. I know this book. Reasoning is because it's a funny rom-com and the male lead is very obsessed with the female lead. Yes, that is good for me. Lee Stone is a 21st century woman. She kicks butt at her job as a communications director at a women-run electric car company. That's better than Tesla, thank you. And after work, she's stoner, drinking guys under the table and never letting any of them get too comfortable in her bed. That's because Lee's learned one big lesson: never trust love. After 4 major heartbreaks set her straight, from her father cheating on her mom all the way to Ben Letterman in grad school, who wasn't actually cheating but she could have sworn he was, so she reciprocated in kind. Then Ben shows up 5 years later, working as a policy expert for the most liberal governor in Texas history. Ooh. Just as Lee is trying to get a clean energy bill rolling. Things get complicated and competitive as Lee and Ben are forced to work together. Tension builds just as old sparks reignite, fanning the flames for a romantic dust-up the size of Texas. I like the synopsis. Oh, my predictions. My prediction for Icebreaker is probably a 4. I like hockey, like she says, and I read a lot of YA. So for Fool Me Once, I don't know, romance is either a hit or miss for me, but I think I'm gonna give it a 3 because then I can be impressed. Next, The Diviners by Liba Ray. How can she ask me to read that? Because you're in your fantasy era and it's a really good fantasy series. She told me some of the plot, like I don't remember the exact wordings, so this is a classical YA in my opinion. The synopsis says, something dark and evil has awakened. Evie O'Neill has been exiled from her boring old hometown and shipped off to the bustling streets of New York City. It's 1926 and New York is filled with speakeasies. The only catch is that she has to live with her uncle Will and his unhealthy obsession with the occult. Evie worries her uncle will discover her darkest secret, a supernatural power that has only brought her trouble so far. But when the police find a murdered girl branded with a cryptic symbol and Will is called to the scene, Evie realizes her gift could help catch a serial killer. Ooh, this is 578 pages. It's a 1926 sort of murder mystery with a supernatural twist. We'll see what the supernatural twist is, but this is very popular. I have 17 friends and following that have marked this. I think the lowest rating is a 3, so. Okay, I'm going into high hopes with this one. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. Next, The Great Unknowable End by Catherine Ormsby, because it's a really good book and deserves more hype. Slater, Kansas is a small town where not much seems to happen. Stella dreams of being a space engineer. After Stella's mom dies by suicide and her brother runs off to Red Sun, the local hippie commune, Stella is forced to bring her dreams down to earth to care for her sister Jill. Galliard, what a name, has only ever known life inside Red Sun. There, people accept his tics, his Tourette's. But when he's denied Red Sun's resident artist role he believed he was destined for, he starts to imagine a life beyond the gates of the compound. The day Stella and Galliard meet, there is something in the air in their small town, literally. So begins weeks of pink lightning, blood-red rain, and unexplained storms. And a countdown clock appears mysteriously above the town hall, with time ticking down to some great unknowable, and they'll each have to make a choice. Is this really the end of the world? Who do they want to be when they face it? It's set in small town America, and that's already enough for me. But I don't know, I've never heard of this book and I never heard of this author either. I'm gonna lean on the cautionary 3 for this one, but it could blow me off the park, I think. These Violent Delights by Mike Nemerever. Do I know this book? It's the one with the white cover and the red text in the middle, right? Yes, it is. Her reasoning is, because I never understood this book, so maybe you can explain it to me. I recognize the cover, but I never went into the synopsis for this book. When Paul and Julian meet as university freshmen in the early 1970s Pittsburgh, they are immediately drawn to one another. Paul is sensitive and agonizingly insecure, incomprehensible to his working-class family, and desolate with grief over his father's recent death. Paul sees the wealthy, effortlessly charming Julian as his sole intellectual equal, an ally against the conventional world he finds so suffocating. As their friendship spirals into an all-consuming intimacy, Paul is desperate to protect their precarious bond, even as it becomes clear that pressures from the outside world are nothing compared with the brutality they are capable of inflicting on one another. The comp is The Secret History meets Call Me By Your Name. I think I might like this. Okay, I'm thinking highly of this one. I'm gonna predict a 4. Let's see. The next book that she sent is You'd Be Mine by Erin Hahn, because it's YA country romance and I feel like you'd enjoy that. Yes, I would enjoy that. The cover is very YA 2014 for some reason. Oh, they had a rebrand in 2020 with Wednesday Books. That's more like it. The synopsis says, Annie Mathers is America's sweetheart and heir to a country music legacy, full of all the things her gran warned her about. Superstar Clay Coolidge is most definitely going to end up one of those things. But unfortunately for Clay, he can't convince Annie to join his summer tour. His music label is going to drop him. That's what happened when your bad boy image turns into bad boy reality. Annie has been avoiding the spotlight after her parents' tragic death. Clay's label wants to land Annie, and Clay has to make it happen. Swayed by Clay's undeniable charm and good looks, Annie and her band agreed to join the tour. From the start, fans want them to be more than just tour mates, and Annie and Clay can't help but wonder if the fans are right. But if there's one part of fame Annie wants nothing to do with, it's a high-profile relationship. She had a front row seat to her parents' volatile marriage and isn't interested in repeating history. If only she could convince her heart that Clay, with his painful past and head over heels inducing tenor, isn't worth the risk. That's interesting. As with all romance, I'm going in wary with a 3-star prediction. And then Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. This is a book that is already on my TBR. Her reasoning is because I also want to read it and I feel like I will also not fully understand it, so we can talk about it. Yeah, we read her first book together. So I think this is interesting for us to read this one together as well. The synopsis says, a novel of art, time travel, love, and plague that takes the reader from Vancouver Island in 1912 to a dark colony on the moon 500 years later, unfurling a story of humanity across centuries and space. Oh my god, and of course it's set in Vancouver Island. If you don't know, I'm currently going through Vancouver hyperfixation, so from what I've read when I first put this book in my TBR and when it first released, this is very similar to the intricate connecting storylines that Station 11 also has. So I don't want to read into it too much. I like to be shocked by it. I don't know, I found Station 11 to be incredible. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, I still remember being caught off guard by some of the connecting storylines that she pulled off. I think this is a 5-star possibility for me from the TBR. But yeah, this is my sister makes me a TBR, and I will link in the description the vlog where I read all of this when this vlog goes live in the new year. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Vlogmas. Bye!